Hello, friends. Welcome back to Great People Interview Series. Let me first welcome Oliver. Hi, Ollie.
Hey, how's it going?
Great.
Good.
Ollie is many things. He is a fully qualified chef, turned into digital entrepreneur. For a decade, he's built businesses, scaled online businesses. He is a co-founder of some of the businesses right now. So if you're thinking, you want to scale your business and take it to the next level, what do you think? Well, your sales, marketing, whatever you're doing, right? You want the conversion, right? So yes, that's where Ollie is focusing right now with his company, ConversionWise. And if you want the secrets to that success of from where you start your customer's journey of brand awareness, your product awareness, and so on. And ultimately, you want your leads to land and convert. And that's precisely what Oliver is specialist in. So, to begin with, Ollie, would you just tell us your journey, how you started off, and why this conversion wise and other digital businesses you're into, and how you got into it in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the intro. I don't think I say this a lot. I don't think anyone goes to school and says, I want to be a co-founder of a conversion rate optimization agency. I don't think I even knew what that meant till I was probably 21, 22. And that was just through sheer kind of knowledge online of communicating with people and networking with people. I was, as you said, a chef. I wasn't pro education. I wasn't very good at school, and not because I was stupid. I just wasn't really interested in what I was being taught. So I was more hands-on. I wanted to actually do stuff. So I became a chef, started working in kitchens around the age of 13. You couldn't do that anymore, but back when I was younger, you could get a little job on the side with a bit of cash in hand at 13. And I essentially dropped out of school around about 17 and went full-time into a chef. But at the age of about 15, I started messing around online, and not a typical journey. I actually started online because of hip hop. I was a massive hip hop and rap fan. It was the days of, you'll probably remember like Eminem and 8 Mile, the film, and these rap battles. And I became obsessed with these rap battles. So I went online because there used to be communities online that these rap battles would happen on. So I would go on there any spare time. I would read these rap battles. And I think the short story is through networking and talking to people on these communities, I stumbled across the whole world of make money online. Now, as a chef, as I was saying, so I was working at this point around about 17, 18 full-time as a chef. Anyone who's in hospitality will know the hours are ridiculous. The money's useless. I used to work sort of 8 in the morning till, typical split shift. So 8 in the morning till about 2:30, and then come back in at 5 till about midnight. And I was doing that every single day. But in between, I became obsessed with this whole kind of like make money online thing. My parents were very pro education, and I don't think there's anything wrong with education, but I don't think a lot of my friends were staying in education for the sake of staying in education. They just didn't know what else they wanted to do. So like, hey, we'll just go to uni, we'll just enjoy it. And that's what a lot of people do, and that's fine. I went another route. I wanted to work and I wanted to make my own money. And I became obsessed with making my own money because my parents were like, you should have gone to university. And I was like, no, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to make my own money. So I stumbled across affiliate marketing through someone I met on one of these communities. And I tried loads of different things, but affiliate marketing was the first thing I actually made money on. Now, back in the day, I say back in the day, I'm not too old, hopefully I don't look too old, but this was probably when it was about 18 to 20, so maybe about 15, 20 years ago. I'm 38 now. Everyone was so secretive if you were making money online. In this generation, we have amazing resources like yourselves. You have Twitter, other course platforms where people just share openly how you do things online. When I was coming up online, no one shared because they were so protective over what they had. They didn't want to share. They were like, if I share, everyone else is going to do this and my money's going to dry up. But I started an affiliate marketing community to discuss affiliate marketing because I came from those hip hop communities. That was the first thing I knew how to do. So I always remember I sat down with my father and my grandfather, and I did the whole Dragon's Den pitch. I said, I want £140 for 50% of my business. That afforded me a vBulletin license, which was the forum license, a community license, and domain and hosting for a year. I started this community, and I thought I was going to have this community as a place to discuss how I made money through affiliate marketing with other affiliates. But all of a sudden, I don't know how, all these affiliates started joining the community. And then the next thing you know, affiliate networks started joining the community. And the next thing you know, a network inboxed me and said, can I pay you to put my banner at the top of your community to advertise our affiliate network?
Hey.
I was like, what? I didn't even think I could make money out of this thing. I was thinking I was making money out of the affiliate thing. So all of a sudden, my whole shift just shifted from affiliate marketing to creating the biggest and best community for affiliates. So I started plowing all of the money back in, still working as a chef. And it wasn't until I was 26 that I actually had enough money from the community to be confident enough to leave my full-time chefing role and grow the community. Fast forward from 26 to 29, I did that. I sold that to Neil Patel at the age of 29. And the best story to come from that was that I met my co-founder, Andy, and my best friend and brother on that community some 14, 15 years ago. And we actually co-founded the business that we now run together.
Wow. Amazing. Which is ConversionWise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So that's really exciting and inspirational as well. I think, you have put in ridiculous hours, because I think, chef itself is too much to handle. And then you also did the online thing with your affiliate community.
Yeah.
I don't know how did you find the time, but I think the energy that you had kind of was the drive.
You've touched on two key things. One is the chef itself. I think chefing as a job is a really, really good educator for entrepreneurship, because it teaches you some really good morals of, like, you have to turn up on time, you have to keep lists and stick to your lists, you have to clean up after you. I always remember we had this thing on the wall in my old kitchen, and it was the 5 Ps, and it was prior preparation prevents poor performance. And I think about that even now when I'm launching something or I'm having a new solution for the business. So I think it really instilled some good values in me. The second point, I can't remember what you said. You said about the chefing, and then you were about to say something else. I can't remember. There was a point I had on the second one. Oh,
how do it's kind of, it's that energy, because at time you didn't have enough time. I think it was your energy.
That was it.
And to that, and doing multiple things at the same time.
And to that point, I think back then it was more of a determination to prove my parents wrong. And I think when you're that age, you're a bit rebellious. That was my kind of rebellion phase, where I was like, my sister went to university, they wanted me to go to university, and I was just obsessed with making my own money to prove them wrong. And I think that's what gave me that kind of like energy to push, even though I was working crazy hours, right?
It was a push, right? Yeah. So, fast forward today into ConversionWise, which is your company now, and you are a conversion specialist. So please tell our audience how they need to think about conversion, where people get it wrong, and how your philosophy can help them, convert into real business.
Yeah, so what we do is conversion rate optimization. So you're absolutely right. I think you did a great intro where you explained exactly what that is. Our kind of company one-liner is we turn more clicks into customers. And I think where people get it wrong, and where we've seen so many people obsess over the past 13 years, is they obsess over how many people can we actually get to our business, instead of thinking about, out of the people who are coming, how can we turn more of them into customers? So often, you can obsess of like, let's take, for example, we work a lot in e-commerce with e-com brands. So, people can obsess over, one month they might get 10,000 visitors, and next month they want to double that to 20,000, but they keep the same conversion rate. Now, what you could have done that was way more powerful is stuck with the same 10,000, but try to double your conversion rate. All of a sudden, if you're paying for media, for example, on Meta or TikTok or wherever it may be, your profits double because you're sending the same amount of people to your site. You're not changing the people who are coming to your site, but you're turning more of them into paying customers. So we do that on a daily basis for brands. We do it through experimentation. A lot of what we do is, and I say this all the time, but I'm not a clever person. It's all around common sense. Typically, when I educate around conversion and conversion rate optimization, and I mention things, a penny drops in people's heads and they're like, oh yeah, why weren't we doing that? And a lot of it is around human psychology. So things like social proof, reviews, testimonials, credibility. I always say there's like a 3 to 5 second test that anyone with any business, whether you're digital, physical, restaurant, e-com, selling online, can run this test. If I was to visit your website as a complete stranger, I've never seen your brand before, I've clicked an ad on Meta, within 3 to 5 seconds, can I tick these boxes? And those boxes are value perception. Do I know what value I get as a paying customer out of what you're offering? So can I say that within 3 to 5 seconds? And normally that's done within your headline. So in your headline, mention the outcome for your ICP, your ideal customer persona, and mention the benefit that they're going to get from booking your restaurant, from taking your course, from buying your product. What's that outcome? Number 2, most important, is social proof. So if I visit your site within 3 to 5 seconds, can I see some form of social proof that lets me know that someone else has actually achieved those results with your offer, your program, your course, your product? So typically that's done with 2 ways. One is either a star rating. So you might say something like, for you guys, London School of Digital Business, you might say successfully taught over 1,000 students. For a physical product, it might be, let's say it's a fitness supplement or weight loss supplement. It might be 300 plus women in their 40s feel healthier and happier with this supplement. You see how all of a sudden within 3 seconds, I know exactly what I'm getting from this with social proof. The other one is a testimonial. So an actual testimonial from someone saying, they've taken your course or they've taken your supplements or they've eaten at your restaurant and had a good experience. And then the third most important one that we always look for is trust and credibility. So within those 3 to 5 seconds, how do I know that you're a trusted business? Now, we often do this with a little statement at the top. We call it like a trust and credibility policy bar. So underneath your navigation on your website, put a little bar and just mention 3 to 4 things in rotation on mobile or on desktop across the span that makes you trusted as a business. So for example, it may be established in 2013. All of a sudden, if I'm someone who's clicking a cold ad on Meta or on Facebook, and I go to this page and it says established in 2013, I think subconsciously, oh my goodness, these guys have been around for 10 plus years. They demand my trust. Another thing might be over 1,000 students have taken this, or it might be manufactured in the UK, or it might be vegan and GMO friendly. Like it depends what your niche is, but what can you put in that policy bar that instantly instills trust? Because all the time you're fighting with other people who are demanding that attention and demanding that trust when people are clicking an ad, and those things are definitely crucial.
Absolutely. I think I have only one thing to summarize what you just said. It is common sense, but common sense is uncommon.
I love that. Very
Right?
cool. Nice quote. Yeah.
So I think you're right. A lot of things that you just said and you gave examples, it feels like, oh yeah. But
You
then
should be doing that. Yeah.
why we're not thinking about it?
Do you know one of the biggest mistakes why people don't think about it, and I've been guilty of this myself, is because as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as founders, we become fixated with the feature, the shiny object.
Yeah.
We presume that everyone coming to our website or to our brand knows exactly who we are and what we're selling.
Yeah.
And often we don't explain it to them like they're a 5-year-old of exactly who we are and what they're going to get out of the next phase.
Yeah.
And we focus too much on the features. it's such a guilty sin in the ecom world where we deal with, say, for example, people who sell technology or software, and all they're talking about is this patented. I'll give you one quick example because I love this. I did this I was talking in Barcelona a couple of years ago, funny enough, on my honeymoon, which my wife hated. And I was in Barcelona talking at a show, and I showed this example, and it was out of all the slides on my presentation, it resonated with the audience because they were just like, oh yeah. And it's quite a famous thing, but there's two ads. The ads are exactly the same, A and B. They're exactly the same image. It's a hand like this holding a phone. It's holding an iPhone, okay? Yeah. Ad A is the phone, ad B is the phone. Exactly the same. Two different titles. One title says the all-new megapixel triple zoom camera. Okay, that's ad A. Ad B is exactly the same, but the caption at the top says, take pictures of your family that will last forever. And It's that ad and that headline that will sell the other times 10. And that's what people tend to forget. Sell the outcome, not the feature. Benefits, there's a cliche in CRO that says features tell, benefits sell. So focus on the benefits.
Well, I must say that you are being very humble, and what you just said is much beyond common sense, by the way. Right? So yeah, you are the specialist, and what you just said is understanding the psychology, trying to perfectly imagine the persona and being able to articulate in the right way. I think as much as it is science, I think it is art as well. And that's why I think, big brands are coming to you. Otherwise, every big brand, they might have in-house teams anyway. So I think very, very valid point. Let me just make this slightly complicated. When we have multiple personas coming to our website, so since you've taken our example, it's the students who are coming there for courses and other programs, internships, etc. But it's the leaders from educational institutions who are coming to collaborate.
Yeah.
So then how do you frame the message for different audiences?
Yeah, great question.
It's not two, sometimes they're three, four, because these entrepreneurs who for them London School of Digital Business Services division also does software development projects.
Yeah, it's a really good question, one we deal with quite a lot. Segmentation is key. We deal primarily with people who are doing paid marketing. So they're driving hundreds of thousands of people to their sites every month. So we have a set of data that we can almost play with. There's definitely different perspectives of why people are purchasing. There's also different levels of awareness, right? So there's also people who are problem aware, solution aware. There's different pain points. They may have different needs of why they're coming. That's why I believe paid media is a real asset. If I was, for example, coming in to work with you guys from a digital marketing perspective, I would be segmenting all of those different audiences and targeting them with completely different funnels. So the student, their need and their outcome is very different to the educator and school. So let's say when we're targeting a student, and I know I've been someone who's been desperate to earn my own money, and I left education. I was a chef. I was desperate to come and be entrepreneurial. The outcome is typically financial, yes, but it's 9 times out of 10, it's freedom. It's having that freedom. So if I was to create pages, landing pages, funnels for you guys, for example, I would segment that section, and then I would create what we call like content-based pages. So advertorials, listicles, editorial content that spoke to people like myself, who found London School of Digital Business, who were working a 9 to 5, who were frustrated, who were desperate to make their own money and have the freedom of what you guys offer and deliver, and tell stories. That's what I would be doing. I would then segment off your educators into a different segment and target them very differently on Meta, for example, with different pages. So I think when you're doing a lot of organic traffic when people are coming to one site, it can be quite tricky. But I would say top of funnel, try and segment them as quick as possible. So
Yeah.
let's say, for example, on your hero section, so the bit that you land on your website, I would have it split in two and say, I would just ask the question, are you an educator or are you a student? And then you funnel them down, and then you can have those pages looking very, very different and speaking to different personas. But it's all about funneling people into their own segments. And you can do that organically. You just need like an if. Another great way to do this is a quiz, by the way. So quiz funnels work very, very well. They work very well because they can be if conditioned, which means if someone selects something, you can show them something and different scenarios. But they also work well because they're personalized. People feel like they have a personalized outcome. So you could do this with a quiz. So you could have like start here, and it's like, okay, are you a student or are you a educator? Bang. Okay, now we go into the student funnel. Why do you want to learn from London School of Digital Business? Is it financial freedom? Is it freedom? Is it to support your family? Is it this? Is it this? Okay, they select that. They then go down to the next question. And then based on the questions that they input on the final page, you can tailor that message to speak to their problem. For example, if I've selected it's financial freedom, on that last step, you could say something like, this is why we created London School of Digital Business. We wanted to give students just like yourself the freedom to be able to financially stand on their own 2 feet without a job, to create their own future, blah, blah, blah. And you see how I'm speaking to you directly now with that problem? Your conversion rate is going to be way higher than if I just shove it all in one go.
I think we just revealed a completely new dimension to how people would do their digital assets, such as website. And we have been saying this for a decade now. It's personalization, but you actually gave a good example of how to do it. Even the website, and well, most of the websites are this. These are the pages, and this is what you get. And well, good websites would probably funnel them with menu options, sub-menu options, etc. But I think some of these quiz ways is much personalized way, saying I'm not building a website which is a standard page, right?
Yeah.
Let me personalize, and with AI these days, I think we can probably be personalizing even the content.
100%.
So I think amazing options these days with technology and common sense plus from the likes of expert from ConversionWise. I think we can probably go on for hours, but I think based on what we have observed and told, the attention span of people watching these interviews. So we'll probably have to limit this to some few minutes. And so coming to the last question, and maybe we get an opportunity to talk to you in more sort of different formats, such as webinar or something where we could probably go a little deeper with what line is, etc. But I think it was really exciting to talk to you. So the last question is, what is your advice for the entrepreneurs who have just started their journey?
I'm a big believer. When I was kind of growing up in this kind of world of entrepreneurship, a lot of people said like you have to go all in. You have to like quit your job, go all in. Sell your mother's jewelry. Like just do anything you can to survive and make it work. And I actually think that's BS. From my experience and from where I see it work is, I think the best possible starting point, and obviously I did this myself, so I'm going to be biased to this route, is have your 9 to 5 or have your job that covers your expenses. Make sure you look after your family. Don't live in poverty. Take care of your family first and foremost. But on the other side, if you want to get into a position where you control your narrative, where you have your own business, where you make your own money, you're going to have to work really hard, and that is a sacrifice. So don't sacrifice your family, don't sacrifice your basic necessities as a human to have a night out on the weekend, go for a nice meal. That's in my opinion stupid. But make sure you're taking care of your family, and then make sure when you're not, you're working really hard. So I did exactly the same. I worked ridiculous hours as a chef, and every other hour I wasn't doing my chefing job, I was obsessing online. I think another two words that I live by when it comes to entrepreneurship, one is relentlessness. You have to be relentless. You have to turn up every single day. You have to be somewhat obsessive. I think most entrepreneurs who make it have a little bit of an addictive personality. You have to obsess over something. For me, to start with, it was proving my parents wrong. So find that thing that drives you, and don't necessarily tie it to money, because one amazing mentor once said to me, the money will always follow. If you obsess over money, you're not going to make it. The money will always follow. And two, the other word that I always live by is consistency. It's very similar to relentlessness, but most people who I know it personally who haven't made it in entrepreneurship is because they gave up too soon. You don't know if you're one day or one meeting or one lunch or one networking event or one podcast like this away from getting the golden nugget, the conversation, the deal that is going to change your life. And often, if you could see this whole road, I think it's very true. But there's a phrase that says, like, everyone sees the overnight success, they don't see the 10 years that they took to get to that overnight success. And that's really, really true, right?
Absolutely.
And I think you just have to be relentless and consistent, and don't give up, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think somewhere what you just said is the way to beat what people call as luck, right? There will be that, as you rightly said, that opportunity on that day. But if you're turning up every day, you're not going to miss that day when you get done.
Exactly. And you've just brought one thing, if I may say, just very quickly. I want to shout out my wife Josie, because she reminds me of this. You mentioned the word luck, and I think it's really, really a really good way to end this. She reminds me of this a lot. So I'm very fortunate that I've sold a couple of businesses. I've done well. I want to do a lot more. I don't think I've achieved anywhere near what I want to achieve. But the point is, I have a very comfortable life. We have beautiful daughters. We have a nice home, car, whatever. And often I will sit at home, and me and my wife Josie will be having a glass of wine or whatever. And I'll turn to her and I say, we are so lucky to have all this. And she stops me. And I actually really like this. And she says, no, we're not. We are not lucky in the slightest. You worked hard and hard and hard. And it reminds me of, yeah, you're right. Exactly what you said. You don't know when luck comes. Yes, luck's going to be a part of it, but you have to turn up. I'm not in this house. I'm not with this car because I won the lottery. That's luck. That's a 1 in a million chance. I don't play the lottery. I consistently turn up, and that's why I'm in this house.
Even those people who win lottery, they consistently keep buying lottery. Just on a lighter note. But you're absolutely right. For me, luck is when opportunity and hard work meet. So you consistently, relentlessly do your hard work, and there'll be that day when you meet the opportunity because you're ready every day, not only just that day. And fantastic. I think you revealed some amazing philosophy of life that people can take on. Your journey has been really, really inspirational. I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs who are finding themselves yet not there will find inspiration from this interview and will think, well, let me keep going, right? If I have not arrived there, doesn't matter. Let it take time. People have worked, 10 years before they got to a point, and then after so much of success, you're still thinking, well, it's still a journey, not my destination. Then I have a long way to go, and I think people would find the inspiration. That's the purpose of this interview. Very well said. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you. And I'm sure with your wisdom around this conversion of leads and everything, opportunities into the actual business is something that I would advise the audience to take on. And if you wish to contact ConversionWise team, please go ahead and yeah, take all the benefits. Thank you.
Thank you.